Types of activities for language teaching group management. Today's agenda consists of these 3 practice activities: controlled, less controlled, free, and of course some examples of each of them. Controlled practice activities. In controlled practice, learners use the language that has just been presented, and there is little room for personalization. Controlled practice activities are those in which students are asked to use the language in a restricted way. The main aim of the controlled practice is to help learners automatize the form of a target language, and this can be done orally or in the written form. They refer to activities that are restricted in nature, where the focus is on developing accuracy rather than fluency. They usually include repetition, scaffolding, and a specific target language focus, which can be from any of the 3 main system types: vocabulary, grammar, and functions. An example of a controlled practice activity is a sentence reordering, in which words are presented out of order and the students have to reorder them appropriately. Here we have some examples. The sentences says, killed, they are beaten, chained, and mercilessly trained. They're hid, but hears, and pays nobody to cries. Friends, auxiliaries, animals, necessary are our, and survival for our. And the answers are, they are beaten, chained, trained, and killed mercilessly, but nobody hears and pays heed to their cries. And last one, animals are our friends, auxiliaries, and necessary for our survival. Next we have less controlled practice activities. Less controlled activities are designed to allow students to use language with a certain degree of flexibility, and still require them to use the target language that has been presented. Less controlled practice gives the students more room to personalize the language they are using and communicate their own ideas. An example of a less controlled practice activity is a complete sentence, where we are using prompts and ask our students to complete with their own ideas. For example, we have this chunk of phrase at the beginning that it says, I've never visited, and the students have to complete. I've never eaten Chinese food. I've never watched a certain movie. I've never been in Hawaii, and so on. Free practice activities. Free practice is a stage in a lesson where learners produce language using the target content freely. In free practice, learners are given the chance to use the target language and their existing language knowledge more flexibly. Free practice appears in the production of a stage of a PPP lesson, which is presentation, practice, and production. Free practice activities many times contain an information gap, which requires students to exchange information in a meaningful way. The main focus of free practice is fluency. That means that correction on the spot should be done sensibly, and delayed feedback is favored. An example of a free practice activity is role play, in which we can give students a menu and ask them to order food at a bar. References: Learn, Teach, Travel 2020, Control Practice Activities, Sakime Andrea, What is ELT.com 2020, Teaching English, British Council, BBC 2020, and Learn, CBSE 2020. Thank you for watching. This video was made for the group management class and presented by Wendy S. Guitrón.